and they destroyed everybody. So these guys have been around for a while.
A strong start for Dylan Frazier.
These guys just got right into it, didn't they?
Strong start with the backhand from Dylan Frazier. Dylan Frazier started off the year about as well as he can in singles. Won gold at the Masters in Palm Springs to open up the year. Has not made it back to a singles podium, but he doesn't play singles at every tournament.
Right.
Gabriel Joseph, one of the consistent quarterfinalists, semifinalists on the tour as well. Joseph does have one title to his name, the Takea Showcase in 2023. So both players highly accomplished on the singles court.
It's a great rally right there.
Just Frazier stayed in it really well, able to dictate with his forehand and get Joseph moving. That's two net cords going in favor of Dylan Frazier, but I think really that two-handed backhand drive was really the difference maker in that point. Just set him up for a high backhand that he could finish the point with.
A lot of velocity on that ball right there. I know it didn't go over, but man, it's a heavy ball that Dylan hits.
Joseph looked like he got the ball he wanted. We saw Frazier try and kind of drop it, but with how quick Joseph is, I'd say he's one of the fastest 2, maybe 3 guys in pickleball in terms of his ability to cover the court. They want to go for a different strategy than using the drop. And players are competing for not only the 52-week rankings, but also for the race for the CIBC PPA Tour Finals in December. And that's a great rally from Gabriel Joseph, but in men's singles, the top 8 players make the finals, so points are at a premium. And both of these players looking to earn some points and try and find their way into the top 8.
Oh, Gabe gets the good hold and down the line shot he wants after the two pulled cross-court shots. He just can't convert it. You know, Gabriel Joseph's usually a pretty emotional player. He's always been a fun guy to watch. He's always brought some energy to the court. He's a little down right now, and he's not getting what he wants.
Again, sometimes bringing that emotion, it can definitely bring out the best in players. We've also seen it bring out the worst, of course. One thing I'm always impressed with Dylan Frazier is it looks like he kind of plays doubles on the singles court, and just in terms of, like, anytime you get into a hands battle with him in singles, it's most likely on his terms, and he's most likely going to win it.
It's a really good leave.
Frazier moving Joseph around really well on those thirds.
Yeah, I don't know if the audience can tell, but that point before that Gabriel lost, he had a slice volley that came from above the ball, and it went into the net. This next point, he has a slice volley that comes from below the ball, and he gets the shot he wants. So, like, a lot of people out there need to know that in this sport of pickleball, when you're doing your slice volleys, very rarely do you want to come from above the ball, but you see it a lot at the lower levels. So they could take a note from these pro players and see how some of those slice volleys, you don't want to get high above the ball.
And Joseph on the board with a blistering forehand winner. Some work to do, though.
Oh, that's unfortunate. We get our first classic Gabriel slide. Beautiful footwork and balance, and he misses the high volley afterwards.
Again, able to get to that amazing drop volley with ease,
Yeah.
just how quick he is on his feet.
But yeah, you got to give it to Dylan on that drop volley. That was an amazing drop volley for sure.
I mean, we talk about, the court's 20 by 44, but the way these guys move, they make it look like it's about 10 feet wide.
Yeah. Based on that theory, it is fascinating that they actually try to pass each other on doubles. That's a beautiful flick right there by Dylan Frazier.
And missed return makes it game point for Dylan Frazier. The timeout being effective. And to start with Gabriel Joseph serving here.
It's a good start to game two for Gabriel.
That's the start you need after dropping game one. Dialed in on both wings is Gabriel Joseph early. Showed the backhand and just as effective with the forehand. What a shot from Gabriel Joseph, backhand on the run.
This is a different player.
Just the angle. And I think on some courts it would have been an ATP, but not a ton of room to work with here. And what a start for Gabriel Joseph. 4-0 here in game two. No timeout yet from Frazier.
It's a pretty good start. Sorry.
Frazier gets the serve back on his paddle, but yes, a very strong start for Gabriel Joseph. Exactly what he needed.
Dylan didn't have to do a whole lot in that first game. I mean, he played well, but he didn't have to do a whole lot to pressure the win. It'll be interesting to see what
for Gabe Joseph. And foot fault called on Gabriel Joseph. Got the ball he wanted.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that call. Based on what he tried to do, there's no way he could have not had to go forward to get that volley based off the situation. Oh, wow. Just out.
That one so close. Asking for confirmation. Would have been insane falling back. Call just wide. And the hands from Dylan Frazier just bailing him out.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier about him having some doubles-type points in a singles match, and I think he's going to get the nod on 95% of those.
And it, like I said, it bailed him out because he tried to come in, follow his third, and take it, but he had a pop-up, and just the quickness of his hands really kept him in it. That one called in, looks like it just dropped. Nice angle from Joseph. Bit of a shorter return there from Frazier. May have gotten maybe a little lucky on that one because Joseph did get a good look at it.
All right, fans, get ready to get on your feet and make some noise. Player introduction for the next men's singles matchup here on the Minute Championship Court. Our first player we want to introduce, get ready to make some noise. Tyson McGuffin.
And return called just long from Frazier, and
That lead is all erased now. You know, it was a pretty good run for Gabriel, but
Next player to take on Tyson McGuffin, Anderson Scarpa.
the next few points are going to be crucial for Joseph if he wants to send this one to a third game.
Winner moving on to the quarterfinals and one step closer to championship Sunday here at the Las Vegas Pickleball Cup. Nothing but the best here out blue, Las Vegas.
And a bit of a stalemate here, tied at 5. Joseph will look to take advantage of a missed third shot from Dylan Frazier.
you know, this is probably the most both players at the kitchen play we've seen so far today for sure, but the speed and the agility of these two guys, I mean, it would make sense. But it makes it a little bit more exciting for sure, you know?
Makes it look just a little bit less like tennis with both players at the baseline, you know.
For sure. I mean, our viewers watching, you know, I remember back, you know, in the day, you know, there was a lot of singles matches with players like Ben and Tyson, and they would have these battles at the net, but they would be softer, slower balls. There'd be a lot more dinking. They weren't so aggressive. Now, granted, the equipment and the paddles we have now, you can do a lot more with them, so there's a lot more pressure and offense with these dink shots, but I've always liked the kitchen, two-person kitchen single stuff. It's exciting to watch what they can do that close to each other and move that well.
It's a great point, just how much the sport has changed in terms of equipment, popularity, the money now in the sport, and also in terms of the gameplay. All right, Ben Paquette. And Joseph had a good look at that forehand volley. Just
yeah, he did.
Sends it long.
Gabriel trying to pump himself up here, get something going.
That one stays in. Just the lag on the wrist on that forehand. Able to curve it in, stay on the line.
Beautiful shot there. There's that energy we were looking to see earlier. He's getting a little pumped up. You know, we might have, it's going to be our first game 3.
Can't speak too soon, but it might be. And one game point saved by Dylan Frazier. But really nice from Gabriel Joseph out of the timeout to cushion his lead. And Dylan Frazier, in terms of gameplay, maybe looking a little out of sorts. That was a pretty wide miss. Not necessarily rattled, but maybe not finding his best stuff yet.
That's just good, solid. Keep the ball in play, keep it back type, net defense.
And Dylan Frazier been stuck on 6 for a while, it seems.
Awkward bounce there by that ball. Gabriel seems to be a little bit perturbed by that, but it's part of the pickleball game for sure.
It's a patient point from Joseph. Didn't try and end it too early. Of course, we see that tennis overhead for him. Got to keep the left hand up.
That's right.
And that is going to do it. We're going.
Tournaments are a fun and exciting way to grow your game. Connect with other players and stay active in the welcoming pickleball community. Whether you're a seasoned player or looking to try your first tournament, we have a place for you.
Dylan get his floor back up to what it usually is and just kind of take over.
And we'll see who finishes strong. And Frazier certainly sharp out of the gate with that one. Ben, this looks like almost a repeat of game 1.
It really
Frazier
does.
got out to a big lead early.
That would have been a very nice shot by Dylan if he could have made it. An off-footed cross-court backhand drop with some topspin. A lot of adjectives for that shot, Will.
That's how you know they're pros. Do it so much with every shot. And missed return gets Joseph on the board. So good. That backhand, just crisp from Dylan Frazier.
The placement of that softball before that was just so nice to touch.
And I think, we've seen Frazier kind of utilize those drop volleys, those soft shots, and I think when you hit that shot, a lot of people think that you're going for the winner, but with how fast Gabe Joseph is, it's probably not going to be a winner, but it is putting him in a vulnerable position so close at the net, but Frazier still has a lot of the court to work with. Just like that.
Just literally like that, and Gabe's over here talking about the space around the court. You know, obviously it is what it is because it's the same space for both players, so there's not much you can do about that. But what, about those drop shots, though, it's like the pace. He's like Dylan's a connoisseur of pace. Like, people are always afraid to be soft, but it's hard for Gabriel to do what he wants when there's no pace given to him. You know what I mean?
A connoisseur of pace. What a phrase from Ben Paquette. My gosh.
It's a little bit of my coach speak. I talk with my students. I'm always telling them, be a connoisseur of pace. You know, there's not just one type of pace in this game.
Looking to make the quarterfinals here in Las Vegas. Dylan Frazier with a 6-1 advantage. And reading that one well. And crunch time for Gabriel Joseph.
Just clean right there.
Speaking of clean, that was pretty clean as well. Just crisp on that backhand put away.
Yeah, you know, Gabriel's wearing a shirt that says "Never Fold." You know, you gotta hand it to the guy. He's not gonna quit.
Joseph trying to pump himself up. That did help him in game 2. Much more dire circumstances here.
It's interesting, sometimes he doesn't get the grab he wants on that two-handed back, and it's not getting the lift and fall that I would think he wants off that shot.
And Frazier been on 8 here for a few side outs. Joseph looking to take advantage.
Why, did you see that serve? It was dippy and short, and it didn't bounce. That was a pretty good topspin serve. That was impressive.
And we've seen that whenever Joseph has tried to attack that forehand of Frazier, Frazier moving over and taking it so early to get it cross court out of reach of Joseph. Really well done. That one stays in for Frazier.
That's a great swinging volley on the move, to be honest. To get that top spin with that movement on the feet, that's a nice shot by Dylan. That takes a lot of control.
Joseph misfires down the line. What a shot from Dylan Frazier.
He's not missing on the forehand cross courts, whether it's out of the air or off the bounce. He's just not missing those right now.
And gives him a match point. And that one stays in for Gabriel Joseph. Frazier looking to the ref for a confirmed call. Just bread and butter for Gabriel Joseph. That two-handed backhand. We talked about Connor Garnett's two-y. We see right
nice.
there.
It's a beautiful shot, especially since the forehand's not really open for business right now, Dylan.
And Frazier sees the missed return.
Each of these players has to say, what got me here? Keep doing it well. And once again, staying away from that forehand to Dylan seems to be paying dividends.
Again, attacking that spot like you said. And that ball was going to be in too from Gabriel Joseph. It was going to drop, so Frazier had to hit it.
He went for it. He's like, you know, I go this way, you go that way. He thought he had done enough on the backhand side to get him drawn and shaded to the left side of the court, but he's got to get over the net.
And another one saved. It was a deep serve from Dylan Frazier. It was hard work from Joseph just to get that return in. And that is gonna do it. We talked about the forehand from Dylan Frazier, and that ends it. The number 6 seed moving on to the quarterfinals, a 3-game victory over Gabriel Joseph. What a match we just